Well, I guess it's about time that we talk about this little guy. Pikachu with his stage-style holowear, the first crystal-tagged holowear inside Pokemon Unite. Hi everybody, Jake, your resident content cowboy here. Yeehaw! This has Unite move, scoring, returning, move effect, KO, movement, basic attack effects, revive, and goal zone destruction animation. And you obtain it through everyone's favorite means, a treasure chest reward rolling system. Sorry, the treasure chest challenge. Remember, it is a challenge to figure out exactly what this will cost you. And, boy. So the treasure chest challenge has been going on for a little while. Sorry, Lucky Ice Pops. The treasure chest challenge has been happening for a little while. To mixed reviews would be a kind way to put it. And Pikachu will be costing 550 treasure chest challenge tickets. There are also other rewards like these stickers, these frames. I happen to get one of these frames in the first boxes I opened. Not frame, excuse me. This background, this animated background in one of the first boxes I opened. And I mean, yeah, it's sick. The holowear is awesome. It's very, very cool. And, oh boy. So I guess this video for me is really about not only the entire concept of this, the entire concept of high-priced holowear and all this stuff, skins in games costing a lot of money, but really this is about what this money is doing, right? So I'm gonna make a bigger video about Pokemon Unite in 2024 and sort of the year that was and the year that wasn't for this game. And I really think when you look at what's happening with the game right now, there are elements to it that are very confusing because it feels like multiple things are not lining up. So let me tell you what I mean by that. If you look at the Chinese release of this game, you can see there's like, oh, there's all this stuff going on there. Mini games and, you know, they're getting Pokemon quickly because we've had them released for a while, right? So they're going to get Pokemon added quickly and there are going to be new modes and features and there's an open world and you can run around. Like there's just so much more to do, so much more going on. The game has been in development for almost 3 years longer than our global version of the game. And it's also clearly been in development by a more experienced team or a team dedicated to bringing a certain vision to life, where our game was brought to life where it was like kind of like more closely related to the MOBAs you would see, like League of Legends and stuff like that. And the Chinese version is doing more and more to differentiate itself as a different take on a MOBA. Still the same sort of, you know, top-down view that you would see in a MOBA, controlling characters in similar ways. But it feels like, especially with the 500-point mode, the huge emphasis on mini games, the open world, there's a very different vision and direction for that mode that, as I've talked about many times, I hope comes together for a global merge. One thing that is coming together already for a global merge is the level and style of monetization that we are seeing in the global version now, and of course in the version China has. It is not uncommon, especially in different like markets, for mobile games to have crazy monetization like this. These skin prices are through the roof. I think this Pikachu, you unlock it guaranteed after 60 chests. And if you rushed every single chest and you upgraded the amount of chests necessary, I think this would be somewhere around $200 for this Pikachu skin. I think if you play the event normally, and you rush a necessary amount of chests while also letting them unlock naturally through the 20 days this event will be available, you probably could get this holowear for somewhere around $120. You could get very lucky and get this cheaper, but I think that's about the range you're going to be looking at. This is about 120 to 200. I don't know. I guess there's a reality where you could get phenomenally unlucky and maybe it would cost more. I'd have to look at the math of that, but I bet it's around 200 bucks. The holowears, as I've unlocked them and I've gone through unlocking Sylveon, Alolan Ninetales, and Gengars, epic tier holowears or whatever, the orange tag level holowears, and each one cost me a different amount. I have them all documented somewhere in some videos, but the most recent one was Sylveon, was like 64 bucks. I think Gengar was the cheapest one. I got like the luckiest on that one. I think I got that one for like close to 20. And then Sylveon was, I think, also like close to 50 or 60 bucks, if I'm remembering right. Either way, the point is, if those are about 300-ish tickets and this is 550 with slightly different odds inside the machine, I'm guessing this will be around $200. $200, if you didn't know, actually ends up being quite a bit of money. How do I know that? This is a booster box from Pokemon. This cost me less than $200, right? There are lots of things in here that cost me less than $200. Let's try to find some of the things just in my office that cost less than $200. This microphone that I'm talking into right now costs less than $200. Let's see. Elden Ring, that costs less than $200. What do we have right here? An Xbox Series X controller. This costs less than $200 for sure. My shirt, these posters, this haircut, this mustache is actually a $700 mustache, but in general, $200 is an extreme amount of money for an in-game cosmetic. And I kinda, sorta, okay, listen. To me, it's not as much the cost of the cosmetic, which is unbelievably absurd. It is what you are getting for your investment in this game, because this is a free-to-play video game. At some point, you just have to recognize that you're buying things because you like it, you're buying things because you like the Pokemon, or you're buying things because you want to support the game. And in Unite right now, it is so confusing to have a $200 cosmetic when the game is not producing content that, in my opinion, would warrant you to want to spend $200 on a cosmetic. Now, of course, that is my personal opinion, but I think a lot of people would echo that sentiment. I know a lot of you have talked about how if holowear skins, whatever, was cheaper, you would buy more of it. But here's the thing. Any game like this is going to have players that spend nothing and players that spend everything. Whales that support the game entirely. But if you look at what's going on inside Pokemon Unite right now, the price of this holowear doesn't seem to match the level of development that is being put into the global version of this game. So if we take a look at the global version of this game right now, we have Boss Rush, which is coming back. A fun mode, but it has come back multiple times. We have the same ranked map we have had for a while. We have energy rewards that you really can't do anything with. I have 4,290 energy rewards. You have a treasure chest challenge where you're getting tickets and item enhancers. You don't have the level of newness that the Chinese version of the game has to feel like you would warrant the price for this holowear, if that sort of makes sense. For instance, we have Snowball Battle in Shivra City, which is back once again. Nothing really new going on there. We just had the Eevee Festival, which is back once again. Nothing really new going on there. We have the Lucky Ice Pops, which everybody loves. We have more events and things happening in the game, which is kind of cool, but the solo challenge hasn't been updated. Shivra City hasn't been updated. Boss Rush hasn't been updated. The map hasn't been updated. The Pokemon release schedule this year was underwhelming. Matchmaking has been fixed, right? But with all of this, I just go, well, you're bringing over the cosmetic from the China version that is sick. It's really cool, but you are not bringing over all of the other stuff that feels like it should be coming with this cosmetic, if that makes sense. If this game is totally refreshed and it's Pokemon Unite 2.0 and we have that version of the game and there's all this stuff going on, it doesn't feel as crazy that we have this cosmetic in the game and this cosmetic price. I say as crazy because it is still a $200 cosmetic, which is absurd. Did you see all the things in the room that are less than $200? I can't point to anything that costs $200. But if you had all of that stuff in the game, it would feel like, well, yeah, you're supporting this game and clearly all of the insane amount of effort and energy and dev costs and all this, etc., 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 that is going into this game. But instead, with the version that we currently have, you're supporting this game that maybe you play a lot, maybe you really love. I happen to love it and play it all the time, but you are not seeing the reciprocity there, right? It just feels like if we had all of the things from the China version, Unite 2, whatever we would want to call it, right? If we had all the things from Pokemon Unite EX Masters plus Alpha, minus Belgium and Netherlands, sorry to say. If we had all of those things, then I don't think this would seem as crazy. But right now, it really does just feel like, well, you've done a great job of bringing over the monetization from that version, but you haven't really brought over all of the other things that feel like they go in line with that. It feels like we get the monetization, but not all of the other amazing things that are going on in that game. I hope with any of this that it is a step towards bringing the versions together rather than a step towards us just getting bits and pieces of it, and a lot of the bits and pieces we get are things that we can kind of buy. And also, if you are going to make things that you can kind of buy, can we make things that are better to buy for people who are I don't know. There's a lot about it that's confusing. It's an insanely cool skin for this game, and it feels really out of place because it isn't coming with all of the other stuff that should be there. I don't think I'm saying anything that's going to be surprising to anyone, but I kind of wanted to present this just with this thought, because it's a thought I've been having a lot lately, which is, well, okay, you're going to have some people who want to purchase these expensive cosmetics. You're always going to have players who spend a ton of money in a game, in a free-to-play game. That is like the economy of these free-to-play games. It's a cosmetic item, so it's not fundamentally changing anything about how the game is. You know, it's not going to make you better at the game. It's not going to make you win anymore. But it is really confusing to me to have this level of monetization, which I expected would come at some point, and not have the other things around it. It just doesn't really add. Kind of like the matchmaking system where it's +8, -10 in the 1400s, and we're all stuck here forever. That's actually a great point. Okay. Before I let you go, just think about it like this. They wanted to update the matchmaking system. They did, maybe, but they didn't do it in a way that is actually separating players decently at all. So you didn't do it. You didn't do the thing. You set out to do the thing and you didn't do the thing. But the thing you did do was get this Pikachu in there. So I know I've kind of beaten a dead horse with this, or maybe beaten a dead Stantler here for a while. I know it's not a horse. For a while here with this monetization talk. But I really do think one interesting thought I was having around it was, sure, we're getting the monetization, but we're not getting any of the other stuff. So if all the other stuff was coming, I think this wouldn't seem as egregious. All right, I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Point to all the things in your room that cost less than $200. I'll see y'all next time. We did it.